Thank you so much for watching another fourth gear episode. Today I want to take you on the next step in our road trip. So on the last video, I had made my way from Cheyenne through Casper, through Riverton, and a few other places, and I made my way to the Grand Teton National Park. This is my first time staying in a national forest area. This one is called Box Creek. That's where the RV is. This is an area there's no facilities. It was on an app that I found called All Stays, but it didn't have any updated information. When I arrived, there was a guy here and he had his horses with him, and he just told me that this used to be an area where people park, but not anymore. But some people still do. I guess you can still park, but they don't maintain it. To get here, I took a road, like a one-lane gravel road. Getting here is kind of, it was, I guess for a lot of people it would be scary because they probably would be scared to go into like an unknown area in a one-lane road, and it's all covered by trees and there's bears around. So I can imagine people being a little apprehensive. But I made it. I want to see what's in here in this little cabin. Anyway, it was very cold at night. I mean, very cold. It didn't freeze or anything. It was around, I would say, low 50s, high 40s. But it was very chilly. So I'm glad I have my comforter. And this is the main area. Now it's time to go into the Yellowstone National Park. So I did what any tourist would do. I did a lot of sightseeing. I went to see Old Faithful. I did some hiking. I saw the calderas. It's really beautiful. You've got to see it. It's just an amazing place. Almost ran into a buffalo. It was just a lot of adventure. It was great. I came to look at Old Faithful, and I thought that's all it was, but it's actually more. There's quite a few geysers actually. So you can see there's a bunch of people, a bunch of geysers. I don't have time to name them all, but it's just like a very interesting scene here. You can see the river. There's more geysers over there, and there's walkways all around us where you can actually walk without stepping on the protected areas. Some like this one that are just like pools of cool looking blue water, but it's actually really hot. And then this is orange, yellow water, yellow. And then this one has multi-colors.
And erupted thick mats of burnt brown
While I was at Yellowstone, I stayed at the Lewis Lake campground for 2 nights. It was only $15 a night, but it is a campground that doesn't take reservations, so you have to arrive early and you have to kind of secure your spot, which I didn't do that well. So one night when I came back, somebody had taken over my spot, and so I went and talked to the camp manager or whatever, and he found me another spot, so that was good. But just a lesson for you guys out there: be sure and claim your spot and secure it for the day if you're gonna go out hiking and whatever. So today I got up super early. My intent is to make it to Canyon Lake so I can see the canyon. There's a meadow and you can see the trees up in the distance. And there's the RV. And the rest. It's funny because this almost looks like the plains. Well, not the plains so much. It's got some hills, but it's devoid of trees, so which is interesting because just like 5 minutes ago I was in the forest. There's some more bison there. I guess I'm gonna go up that mountain, it looks like. Huh. Wow. That seems kind of steep, but I don't see any traffic going up. Anyway, this is the view. I'm at the West Thumb area of Yellowstone. It's not an area that's pretty big, it's small, but it has a walkway that goes around, as you can see, and it's right next to the lake, which is Yellowstone Lake. There's something interesting about Yellowstone Lake and how it was formed. There was a brochure about it, so I'm gonna read up and say more. And here's a runoff from the geysers. All the water running into the lake. Here's one of the craters. It's basically a huge pool, and it's blue in there, but then the runoff turns gold. Interesting. This one is the King Geyser. Yeah, it just looks like a huge pool, blue. Okay, so I did the touristy things in Yellowstone, and then on my way out, I went again through Grand Teton National Park. It is an underrated park. You know, Grand Teton is got some of the best scenery out there. It's very rugged mountains, glaciers, everything. It's really a great place to see, and I think it's overshadowed by the fact that it's right next to Yellowstone. So everybody knows Yellowstone, but not a lot of people know Grand Teton. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I stopped by. I'm actually on my way south from the campground. I'm at this rest stop or scenic outlook, and it's weird because I'm the only one here. It's right next to the road. But yeah, it's really a nice view of the mountains. They're really up close, and yet not a lot of people are taking this one. I don't know why. I saw a lot of people on a previous one that's like 2 or 3 miles away, but not this one. Anyway, I'm gonna get I need to get some gas. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna get it, but I'm down to a quarter of a tank. I don't know if you can hear, there's a lot of these big insects that are just like snapping and making all these noises. I'm on my way towards Jackson. Here's Jenny Lake. It says a little stop off the Jenny Lake Scenic Drive. And it looks like it's possible to swim. I'm not exactly sure. I see some people swimming, so I might want to take that up. There's some people boating. Should I swim in this lake? I'm thinking about it. Well, as it turns out, I forgot my swimming trunks. So I couldn't go in and swimming, so I did the next best thing, which is I went into the water. These rocks, they actually feel like sand. When you step on it, your feet just kind of sink into the stuff. So this is where I am. The water is very clear, which is a good and a bad thing, because from what I understand, if the water is really clear, that means there's not a lot of life in it, because life, like fish and stuff like that, they tend to like poo in the water, and there's a lot of other stuff in it. So if the water is really clear, it's not actually like the best, doesn't have a lot of life. I don't know if that's true. That's what my ex-wife said, and I kind of believe it until somebody tells me otherwise. I made my way down to Bountiful, Utah, and I stayed at a Planet Fitness. So now this is a cautionary tale for you guys, because I got there and I worked out, did my thing, and I asked for permission to stay. I saw there was another sprinter band there, another camper, and so I asked the attendant, is it okay to park? He said, yes, it's okay. But then I got the dreaded 2 a.m. knock on my door. It was actually around 1:30 a.m. And there's a couple police officers, and they're basically telling us we had to leave because it's a private parking lot. And I said, well, officer, I asked for permission from Planet Fitness, and they said it was okay. They said, well, it was actually Planet Fitness that called. Apparently, the person that I asked for permission when I got there had already left for the night, and a new person took over. Anyway, there was some miscommunication, I believe, but I ended up finding another spot after, at 2 a.m. but it was in a truck stop, which is not ideal because it was very noisy. I wore earplugs, but I still didn't get a pretty good night's sleep. Anyway, cautionary tale for you guys when you're staying at any private parking area. Things can happen overnight. Okay, so now it's time to go back to home, and I'm flying from Salt Lake. So I found a spot at the Ramada Inn Salt Lake City Airport. It was only $5, and I was gonna be gone for 51 days. So it was a deal that I really wanted to take. So I did. Of course, when I got there, it felt a little bit sketchy, but I saw there's a lot of parking, there's a lot of cameras, vigilance, everything seemed to be like on the up and up. So fingers crossed, I left my RV there with the plan of coming back 51 days later. So what happened? Well, I'll fill you in on the next leg of this road trip. The channel links are at the bottom. So if you want to subscribe, check it out. There's other playlists for other videos that I've done. And thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'll see you then.